Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WWP, the World Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Reef, with the man, the Sith, the legend, Darth Cyro. How are you doing today, Darth Cyro?
Reef, I'm awesome. I'm really happy to hear your voice, and I'm so excited about what we have in this past week and what's coming up. I think we have a lot to talk about today. I'm really, really excited about what's going on right now. I think they're turning up the dial.
Very specifically, what we're excited for right now is our first ever official episode of the World Wrestling Podcast. And with that being said, I just have one question for all of you listening at home today. Are you ready?
I certainly am. I love that. Thank you, Reef. That's amazing.
I love the drop off. I'm like super intense, and I certainly am.
I love that. I really am. You know what? I'm on it though. The thing is, I'm so focused on what's happening right now that what's for me. I think that the amount of energy coming out of some of the players right now is unbelievable. If you would have told me 5 years ago that one of the Uso brothers was going to become like in the main event scene to the degree that he has become in Jey Uso,
Main event Jay. It's in his name.
I would have said bullshit. Because I don't think that they were that then. I thought it's just two brothers. They're gonna wrestle like the Hardy Boys. They're gonna go out with their. I get it. Okay, cool. They're gonna
guys,
be fun.
never gonna see them alone, really. But even with the Hardy Boys, we saw them eventually go alone. So I think like at some point you had to see something coming. I am not surprised that of both of them it was Jay. That doesn't surprise me.
Me neither. He's always been, I think, a little bit more composed. What do you think about Braun bringing out the best in him?
I don't think Braun necessarily brings out the best in him. I just think that Jay is always bringing out the best in himself. He's got, well, first of all, he's got the most electric entrance of any wrestler right now.
I know you're a Jay guy.
I'm a big Jay guy. Jay is 1A, Gunther is 1B. Those are my two favorite wrestlers in the world right now. Absolute superstar. I just, and the other thing I love the little Jay and Mommy little thing, you know what I'm saying? Because Mommy's also my favorite women's wrestler. So it's like, I love seeing my favorite male wrestler, my favorite women's wrestler really getting into it. As far as the Braun Breaker thing goes, I think Jay definitely leveled up his shit talking game. Dude, he brought it to Braun Breaker on that promo on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. I mean, dude, when he said, "I'm a dog walk your ass." Like, I got out of my seat. I was listening. I was watching Monday Night Football on the big screen. I had my phone streaming the Monday Night Raw, and I got out of my seat. I wasn't paying any attention to football, even though it was on the bigger screen. I was locked in on Jay, listening to Jey Uso. And then when he told Bron Breakker that your title reign might be short and sweet like your NFL career, dude, that struck a nerve.
I like that he said. I like that he went there and said he's the tenured guy. Like, I've been here 14 years. What are you, 6 months? What do you have a year?
Not long ago, when Braun called him out, I'm like, hey, listen, I've only been here for a few months and I've done more as a solo guy than you've ever done. But at the same time, it's not like Solo tried to, or I'm sorry, not Solo. It's not like Jay tried to go solo. He was constantly, he was out there with his brother, bro. I don't blame him. If I was in the WWE with my brother, I would let that title, that tag team run as long as I possibly could. Like, I would never want that to fracture. That'd be like the height of like my life right there. Me and Mo, tag team champs against the world, dude. They did undisputed tag even, so it's like that's even more impressive in general than just tag team. I mean, dude, you literally unified the tag team titles as well. Braun is underselling what he did, as well as the fact that like yeah, Braun, you won the IC title, but like Jay was the first person to pin Roman in years. Like, Jay has his moments.
When Jey Uso went one-on-one with Roman Reigns to headline a PLE, I was like, what's happening? This is real? Yeah. You know what? I'm not sure.
Because I remember the I Quit match. But I don't know if that was the I Quit match. I think it was.
I think it was SummerSlam.
Oh, you're right. But when was the I Quit match?
But there was another match. But what I'm saying is the
Yeah,
one-on-one at
the one-on-one.
23.
Yeah. Well, no,
That
I
was
Quit was a one-on-one as
insane.
well, but Jimmy would come in and when Roman put Jimmy in that sleeper hold, that's when Jay said he quit to save his brother. Another beautiful moment for Jay, by the way.
Oh yeah, that happened. You know what? That I think that happened the following week, right? Or no, that's when he just quit WWE. That's when he just quit.
Yeah, yeah, that
Sorry,
might have
sorry.
been a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But regardless, going back into this, so main event, Jay and Braun Breaker Monday Night Raw next week for the IC title. I think Jay wins it, dude. I think Jay wins it. I did like that, like when he came out to help. I didn't. I actually I I like it. I don't like it. I hate that I liked it. That Braun Breaker got his lick back, got the spear off on Jay, because that's a good, like, you just know that these guys, when they get in, it's gonna be like they're going spear for spear. They're gonna go spear for spear in the ring. It's gonna be an epic bout. Braun obviously has the strength and probably the speed too, and athletic. I mean, he has everything over Jay. But Jay's the man. I
Just
said,
don't
Jay.
forget how
If
it
you go
ended.
toe with Roman, you could beat anybody.
Yeah, but
I don't
yeah,
care.
just don't forget how that segment ended, okay? I mean, at the end of that little altercation, after Braun tried to be a tough guy, Jay was on the
Jay
top rope
speared him.
celebrating.
Yeah,
So
Jay speared him. But then later on that night, though, Braun got his lick back. And whose spear do you think is more damaging? I think it's obviously Braun Breaker, right?
yeah, Braun's is hard, man. Braun spears.
Braun splits people in half.
It reminds me of Goldberg.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. But
Just
it's like a much faster Goldberg though, like infinitely faster than Goldberg. So
yeah.
like it's just like that speed and momentum is like a killer, especially because of how quick he runs the ropes. He'll go back and forth on the ropes a couple times and then land the spear. It's like he picks up all this speed and then gets the spear, dude. Like I don't know how people aren't broken in half
I'll
afterwards.
tell you what, dude. I would never want that. I would actually maybe be in half on the floor because that
Who do you
is
think wins?
ow. I think it's gonna be. I want to say Jay should get it, and I feel like he should win. He should beat Braun, and I think it will make him look better than he. If he loses it, I don't think it makes him look good. I want to say it's Jay,
Yeah, he's
but
lost a lot of opportunities already.
correct.
He
I
has
want to
lost a
say
lot of
it's Jay, and I want to say that Jay and Braun are going to pass the title back and forth a couple times. I think it's going to be something where
I don't know.
they,
I don't like the idea of Braun constantly like getting like losing an opportunity and then getting it right back and then winning. I'm not a fan of
okay.
that. So like Jay wins and then I honestly listen, if I depending on what we see on Monday night, if I see
Mm-hmm.
Jay win like decisively
Mm-hmm.
against Braun in like a real bout, like a strong bout, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he beats Braun again if they do a rematch. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to beat him 2 times in a row. Um, I don't know
It's going to be a hell
Braun.
of a fun match to watch. I'll tell you
I
that.
don't know if Braun. Like I get he's a dog, right? Badass, and like he really terrorizes people. Like he just demolishes people.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw weakness in him already against Sami Zayn. I mean, he almost lost that title in that 2 out of 3 counts match again against Sami when they did the third match.
Uh huh.
Um,
Absolutely.
so like I don't feel like he's unstoppable. And again, I've
He's
seen
not.
Jay beat Roman, dude. Or not,
He's
well,
not.
not he didn't beat Roman one on one, but he's beaten Roman. But he hasn't beaten Roman one on one. But I've seen him like beat down Roman before. Like
Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely.
the size difference is gonna matter as much as some people think it will.
I'm penning it
I like
as
Jay's
Jay
chances. I
for
like
sure.
Jay's chances. For those of you guys listening at home, please leave in the comments. Who do you think is going to win? Who has the better spear? I think the answer is obvious that one. But
I
who do
want
you
to know
think
that.
wins? Who do you want to win and hold that IC title? I know a lot of the fans of the WWE are really, really getting a warm liking to Braun Breaker lately. But I don't think anyone loves Braun more than they love Jay. I think Jay is so universally loved that I think everyone would want to see him win this.
I definitely want to
Um,
hear who's got the best spear. I'll
I
tell you that.
think moving forward, yeah, right. We'll get the answer on Monday night. A question I wanted to ask you about because we talked about this on an unofficial episode previously, and now there's an even deeper climax, even higher climax to this rivalry. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell, set for Bad Blood. It's coming up soon, I believe, 2 weeks away. Um, dude, the build up to this has been insane. This feud has been drawn out long enough. It's about time we see a conclusion to it. Um, I'm gonna pass it off to you, man. Who do you want to see on top at the end of this absolutely bloody massacre that we've been watching?
I can't wait to hear I know kind of where you're at on who you think's gonna win, but I can't wait to hear what you feel about how this is gonna play out for both of these guys after Bad Blood. I'm interested in that too, by the way, because these guys
Right.
are gonna end something during that amazing match. So I get excited about the end of stories as well as the beginning. And I look forward to this being an end because I'll tell you, I've been a Punk fan for what feels like 15 years. And when I see him as enraged as he is, which I told you, I think on that same app, that
Yeah.
I love when Punk is in his anger element. That's where
Yeah.
he needs to be.
Absolutely. I mean, he opened the segment without his normal. Is it great to be alive in Monday night or what? In wherever city he's in, he didn't say any of that. He just got right down to business. Um,
And
dude
what
was
was the line
furious.
coming out of that? The line coming out of that was, "I promise to make you bleed" or something.
Yeah, yeah. He said he's gonna make him bleed. He said he can't promise he won't kill him because he
That's
doesn't make promises he can't keep. And he said he's willing to die in that ring. Dude, CM Punk is not the kind of guy that minces words. I think he's gonna make Drew bleed. I don't know if he comes out on top on this, dude. The thing about Drew, like, here it is. Like, so the previous matches, I always kind of base it on whose motivation was greater to win that match, right? The first match, I knew Drew would win because I'm like, Drew absolutely, like, he was enraged. I think CM Punk was mostly trolling Drew McIntyre. But Drew was actually enraged and like really wanted to rip CM Punk apart. And so I knew Drew would win the first one. The second one, I was like, okay, CM Punk's definitely gonna do this because Drew got his lick. I think he feels a little satisfied with it. CM Punk wants that bracelet back. He's tired of him parading around with the names of his loved ones on his wrist. So I was like, CM Punk has a motivation. I don't think either one has more motivation than the other to kill the other now. So I think now it's just, to me, it's going to come down to, hey, CM Punk's a little bit older now. Drew McIntyre is in his prime athletic build of his career. We've never seen Drew McIntyre look this good.
I could agree with that.
He looks phenomenal. Dude,
Yeah,
he
he looks
looks
good.
absolutely
Looking good.
phenomenal. I remember watching Drew McIntyre when he first got to WWE. Scrawny little blonde guy like that. You didn't think anything of this guy.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden he comes back as this Scottish warrior that is just an absolute beast of a man now.
What
And
gets
that Claymore, dude, is just I would honestly say the Claymore might be like up there as like my top 3 favorite finishers in the WWE right now. It is explosive. It
I
is an
completely agree.
absolutely like insane violation of someone's personal space when you just jump up both feet in the air. It's like the sweet chin music version of a drop kick.
Do
It's
you
just
think?
insane.
Do you think that Drew McIntyre in his that even in his mind that there's even a shot that he's not going to destroy Punk? I think that there's a
In his
little
mind,
bit.
absolutely not. I
I
think
think
he
I
will
think there's
destroy
a
him.
little bit of an underestimation that I've heard where folks don't think that Drew's as serious as he is. I think Drew is. I think I would argue that Drew
You
is
don't
more.
gouge somebody's eyes out if you're not serious about killing them.
I think Drew is more ruthless right
You
now.
know?
I think Drew
Yeah,
is more ruthless right now than Punk
than he's ever
is,
been.
and
Yeah.
I think
I don't
that's going to
know.
lead to
I don't
something that
know if
is
I
a
would
big deal.
say that necessarily, that specifically. I would say they are both hell bent on like absolutely like murdering each other. I would definitely say they're hell bent on that, but I don't think I would say that Punk or that Drew is gonna it has a little bit more like maliciousness in him. I think CM Punk, like I said, he said he's ready to die, dude. And I believe him. Like you heard the seriousness of his tone in there. I don't think that it'll be that different in terms of how much either one wants to harm the other. I just think it comes down to I think Drew McIntyre is just a better wrestler right now. He's the stronger guy. He's the bigger guy. He's the faster guy right now, as crazy as that seems.
I hate to
And
say that. I
there's
hate to say that
nowhere to
Punk is an
move in a
underdog.
Hell in a Cell. Like you don't have any escape. You don't have any breaks. Like you don't roll out of the ring and get a break from one another. You're locked in, and that you roll out of the ring, you're not getting a break because they can come in, they can swing their feet right at you, and your back is hitting your back, and your back of the head is hitting a steel cage. You know, so like with that in mind, I don't know, but I will say this though. CM Punk is a more hardcore guy. He's the guy that has a lot more experience bleeding in these kind of matches and stuff. I mean, dude, we've seen CM Punk drenched in blood before and still standing. I don't know that we could say the same about Drew McIntyre.
I got a question for you. You think that CM Punk is an underdog in this match? I think he's an underdog in this match.
I would consider him an underdog, a slight underdog. I would consider him an extremely slight underdog. To me, it'd be as close to an even line as you're gonna get with me slightly favoring Drew McIntyre with the win.
I think that when CM Punk is in an underdog position, he does not win. And I think right now he's in an underdog position.
He beat John Cena. WWE title. He was
2011? 2011?
Yeah.
You think that he was an underdog then?
Yeah.
I think he was on fire.
I think anyone going up against John Cena is an underdog.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it as feedback. But I'll say that it's fair. I'll say that I think Punk is coming into this as the underdog. I want him to win. I think McIntyre takes it at Bad Blood inside of the cage. I do think inside of the cell. He's taking it inside of the cell. It's going to be awesome. Just please, God and Paul Levesque, do not make that cell red. Because
if you had to give them the Vegas odds, what are the odds that Drew McIntyre wins?
I would say it's Mac 200.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I am interested in the match without the cell. I am 5 times more interested in it with the cell. So, and I would love to know how our lovely audience thinks about this match and the feud as a whole. We've seen tons of Hell in a Cell matches, and we've seen a bunch of those matches be the culmination of rivalries. That I remember my favorite match of all time, Triple H and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 28 inside of a cell was the culmination of their 3-match storied rivalry. I want to know what you all think is going to happen in this 3rd match. Are we going to see McIntyre topple Punk and Punk is going to go and figure out how he's going to come back from that? Or is he going to make his way to the winner's circle and Punk is going to win and tell McIntyre there is nothing that you can do that I can't overcome? I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it, Reef. It will be fantastic to watch. And to be honest with you, I think that there's a lot that they have on their packet on Bad Blood that's really interesting. When they announced Bad Blood, I had no idea if that pay-per-view was going to be something that the PLE is going to be really great or something that's going to be kind of like maybe like one of these not so great ones. But the rivalries that they've been showcasing have been really, really stellar. So one of these rivalries right now, which by the way, I'm so glad we got to see a second go between big Bronson Reed and the one big SOB Strowman. How do you feel they're doing with each other right now? How is this happening? Like, I feel like I don't know who's stronger. I used to think there's no matter what, I feel like maybe Bronson looks bigger, but Braun is the stronger guy. Right now, I don't know. What do you think about this rivalry? This is insane to me.
So, dude, let me tell you something. This is what wrestling's all about. This is the thing that like when I tell people like why I watch, I'll show them the clips of their match where Bronson Reed charges at Braun Strowman and Braun gets out of the way and they break off the top rope and then they go outside of the ring and Bronson Reed throws a fan at Braun Strowman.
Are you kidding me?
Listen, last time we saw them, we saw Braun Strowman go through a car, right? And then we see, inexplicably so, I don't know what Adam Pearce was thinking. I think this is the most ridiculous thing a GM has done in a long time. He gives Braun Strowman Bronson Reed's place because Bronson Reed goes down with COVID to fight for a chance at the championship. Like, to me, I didn't understand that even a little bit.
Backstage
like that
politics?
was a messed up.
I have no idea.
That was messed up. I completely understand Bronson Reed's anger for that, and we're seeing it really culminate into. I would argue that this might be the best big man feud we're ever gonna see. Like,
They're having
dude,
a brawl every freaking week now.
brother,
This is
it is
insane.
nothing but chaos. It is pure debauchery. I mean, they're going through drywall. They're going through cars. They're breaking the ring. They're breaking barricades. They're in the backstage. They're throwing security guards around. They're throwing fans around. You don't
Was
get
that a
better
golf
than
cart? Was that a
the
golf cart he
golf cart.
toppled?
He flipped the golf cart, man, and the TV went out. Like the shit went out, dude.
That's great.
This is what made me a fan of the WWE a long time ago. Is this kind of destruction and chaos? It's just the unbridled rage of these guys, and it's just two monsters of human beings really
What
going
happened to
at
the
it.
ring?
Dude, he pulled out the turnbuckle, the top buckle
He
on the
ripped it
ring.
out of this. He ripped it out of its
Just
socket.
ripped it out of its socket, like really tore that thing up. And dude, like I said, it was incredible to see. And one thing too that I like was when Braun Strowman was talking to the Miz backstage. Miz was taking a little bit of offense to how he said that Braun Strowman said he's no match for him. Dude, if I'm the Miz, blessings, dude. I thank you for saying that, and thank you for taking care of this for me. Because if I'm anybody in that locker room, I want nothing to do with Bronson Reed or Braun Strowman right now, dude.
No.
I want to stay as far away from those two maniacs as possible, man. But yeah, Bronson Reed is putting on an actual show. He's putting the whole WWE on his back. He was angry about not getting a shot.
Pounds go through a barricade.
Dude, he
That was amazing.
He is not letting Adam Pearce take away what he's going to get, what he's earning, what he is fighting for. He's not going to sit down and wait for it to be handed to him. He's going to go out there and take it. I love that in a wrestler. Put the world in your hands.
Do you like that they're fighting unconventionally? Do you like
Absolutely.
that these guys are getting unconventional about it? It's not like in the ring.
The thing is, it's not about a match. It's not about winning or losing the match. It's about destruction. It's about showing everyone, hey, nothing is going to stop me from getting what I want. Bronson Reed is showing that.
So they don't care about sanctioned brawl anymore. These guys are just kidding. They're just fighting each other now.
I don't even know how you settle this at this point. Like, what kind of match do you put these guys through?
Street fight.
To settle this. Well, everything's a street fight, so it's not gonna make any difference at this point. There's gotta be at this point, like it's almost like I hate to just throw an I hate to throw like an I quit match out there for anything just because the more you do it, the worse it is. But I just don't know what kind of match you can do to settle this level of destruction. To like eventually bring and restore order back to the wrestling world.
There's not going to be. There's no match. There is no match that can do this. I think where you're at right now is, I said street fight. I mean, whatever is the most unsanctioned or least sanctioned type of match possible.
Yeah, that'd be a
because
street fight.
There is no possible way to do it. So these guys have to get into, I say a ring. They just have to be in the same place as each other and have a ref there to figure out who doesn't walk away. Oh, by the way,
I propose a new match.
Okay.
A break the ring match. Whichever superstar is the catalyst for the ring collapsing wins the match and is coined the WWE Monster.
You know what? Hey, you might have something. Listen, I like the break the ring approach. I like the break the ring approach. I would love to see them do something. I like your idea of coming up with a new kind of match. Maybe.
I don't think there's one that can settle this. That's why I'm like, I've gone through all the matches I've seen happen in the past, and I just don't think they fit what we would need to settle this craziness. This absolute.
You don't think these guys should get into a tactical wrestling match? Technical wrestling match.
I don't think there's a such thing.
Submission. I don't. You think they should get into a technical submission?
I don't know if those guys have the arm strength, the arm length to like choke the other one enough to tap them out with all their belly fat in the way.
I want to see a technical wrestling match, submissions only between Big Bronson Reed.
What kind of submission do you see Bronson Reed doing?
I don't know, but if he did a sharpshooter, he would just end up sitting on Braun.
Listen, a sharpshooter is far out of the possibility for
I would love to see it, though. I would love to see it.
Imagine getting someone's legs. I can't. That's a mess.
His legs look like tree trunks. His legs
literally.
are tree trunks.
Every that's insane. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of meat over there, guys. Let us know in the comments how you guys feel about the arguably the best big man feud of all time. Are you guys excited for it? And how do you think this should be settled? I think that's the most important question to answer. How do you think this gets settled between the two? We would love to hear the feedback from you guys. Speaking of settling differences, 10 years, over a decade of brotherhood and friendship, and it's slowly deteriorating. And we saw a fracture, arguably for the first time in their history together, in the New Day between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Are you sad about that? Or are you? How are you feeling about the fracture in the New Day?
I was freshly, I think, engaged or married. I forgot one or the other. My wife will have to pardon me. When I first heard, it's a new day. Yes,
Mhm.
it is. And I was so excited that this group came out and had this aura that you could just not replicate. I loved them when they were not loved in the
Right.
beginning. When they were
Right.
like, what is this this kind of cringy theme song? I loved
Dancing,
it. I
singing,
thought it was
guys.
cool. I was like, every time I heard it, it's a new
Yeah.
day. Yeah, I was so excited.
Yeah.
And
Right.
now with Big E sidelined, what maybe indefinitely physically, you get essentially these two in Kofi and
Love
in
Kofi.
Xavier holding down what the New Day legacy is, and it's a very sad situation. What's going on right now? It might be a small difference between two brothers, but the way that they're reacting, whenever you see a relationship explode, the reactions are very, very fiery. It's not like it's I would say there's not like a calm, he didn't just shrug him off in the ring when he
Right.
said, "What are you doing? You weren't there for me." No. He kind of like got upset to a degree where, it's like, okay, hold on. Now we're starting to throw stones, and we're both in a glass house because we care about each other. So look, let's see where it goes. I will say I'm sad about them breaking up from a legacy point of view,
It's been
but
10 years.
it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
We
Yeah.
got a little taste of Kofi being potentially champion. Maybe there's a singles. Okay, let's go and do some singles
I
stuff.
think the
I
singles
don't
opportunity will
know,
probably go to Xavier. He looks a little bit more focused right now. He looks a
right?
little bit more
So,
locked in than
so here's what
Kofi.
I'll do. I'll pose the question to our audience: if the New Day is breaking up, we're just presuming, who's gonna have the bigger trajectory? Are we gonna see Xavier climb to the top in a Jey Uso style way with he's got his charisma, or are we gonna see Kofi bring back Kofi Mania and we're gonna go that direction? I
Well,
would
maybe
love
we
to
don't see
know.
them break up at all. Maybe they get through this. They're very good people, or maybe they just calm down a little bit over time. I will say, I think Xavier Woods was being a little sensitive. I think he's justified in being upset with Kofi. Kofi didn't tell him about LWO being involved. Kofi also jumped off the top rope, which caused the ref to be distracted, because if he didn't do that, the ref wouldn't have given a shit about what was going on outside the ring. All the guys that were wrestling were still in the ring, so he wouldn't have cared, and they would have won the tag title. So he had reason, a justified reason to be upset. I do think he's a little sensitive, a little insecure too, because Kofi was obviously not saying Xavier Woods isn't good enough. But you could tell that that's something in the back of Xavier Woods' mind. And he's been showing signs of insecurity for the last couple of weeks, too.
Hopefully
Depending
they
on
stay
how it's going
together
up.
from a brotherhood
But yeah,
perspective, sure. But let's see what happens. I would love to hear from our audience. What do they think about the trajectory? It would be really good to know. I want to just know about that. And I'll tell you what. When you think about what their capabilities are, they're never going to reach the level of, let's say, I think neither of them will see like Gunther levels of success. That's not happening.
ah,
Gunther's on top of the world
no
right
one
now.
will see Gunther levels of success.
Your ring general is on top of the world right now. Sami Zayn comes out on Raw and tries to convince Ludwig that he should have a shot at Gunther, and is trying to kind of coalesce this into happening. I'm so glad. Look,
I
what do
gotta
you
say,
think? What do you think about
I'm not
Gunther's
happy.
reaction?
I'm not happy with Sami Zayn right now for one specific reason. I don't like that he's trying to turn Ludwig against Gunther. I want Ludwig to introduce Gunther for as long as Gunther's wrestling.
Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah,
want the ladies and gentlemen. I
absolutely.
demand all your gratitude. Come on, dude. You don't
Nobody
get
does it
better
better.
than that.
Nobody
And
does it better.
Sammy's trying to create this little rift. Now, look, Sammy deserves a shot against Gunther. I think he's earned it. But at the end of the day, I love Gunther, and it's his call to make. And he says no. He says no. And so now you're going to have to find a way to force him to do it. You're going to have to force his hand, Sammy. And going into the ring and talking to, I know Kaiser came out and interrupted him. It wasn't like he asked Kaiser to come out. But going into the ring and trying to, like, bring all that extra shit out, and anybody that is being even close to gifted a chance to fight Gunther for a title, go and beat the brakes off them. Show how ruthless you can be, because that's what it takes. This isn't the Intercontinental Championship. This is not the Intercontinental Championship. This is a World Heavyweight Championship. This requires ruthless aggression to maintain, to obtain it, and to maintain it. So this isn't going to be this isn't going to be something that you're gonna just get because you won a match at WrestleMania some months ago and now you get to fight him again. No. You're gonna have to show us that you can earn it again. You just got your ass handed to you by Braun Breaker in a 2 out of 3 falls match and in a match at SummerSlam and lost your title, and you haven't done nothing since. So you're gonna have to come out here and earn that spot again. You're not being gifted it. So go out and earn it, because I love Sami Zayn, right? He's my Syrian brother. He's our Syrian brother, right? I love him to death. One of my favorite wrestlers ever, and I was so excited when he won that title. But he earned that title shot. Like, he has to earn this one, and he hasn't earned it yet. He's spoken facts when he said he was the only one to beat Gunther, but that's not enough, dude. You gotta earn the shot. You don't get to jump in line because of something you did 5 months ago or however long Mania was. You don't just get to earn that. You have to earn that shot. You don't get gifted it like that. So that's how I feel about that one, man. I'm not a big. To me, it's like either book the match or move forward. You're not getting it. So Sammy, go do something. Go earn it. Take the Bronson Reed route. Go earn it.
I like your take. And you've made almost an about face on how you felt about Sammy. I think because of his approach. I respect it. I think it's going to be Gunther just telling him, get away. You're not.
Hey, he's earned that right. Gunther earned that right.
I agree. I think Gunther's the top of the world. You have to make him believe you deserve it.
A vast majority of his career has been spent as champion. So I hardly ever seen him in a ring without a championship belt around his waist. So
it must be telling us something.
Gotta be. Anyone else that wants to chime in, tell me how you feel about whether or not Sami deserves his title shot, which he doesn't, or if you guys don't feel like the En General is the greatest world heavyweight champion of all time, like I believe, go ahead and leave the feedback in the comments, man. We'll look forward to seeing them, and you might end up on the show sometime in the future episodes. So definitely leave us some comments there. I think we're at the point in this stage of this podcast where we now have to talk about, well, the only thing that we're going to talk about from Smackdown, at least today. Probably, I would say one of the biggest headlines, while simultaneously being the biggest disappointment in my life here, in my eyes. Solo and Jacob Fatu have a match at Bad Blood against Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. What are we doing, dude? Do you have any, like, I honestly, I'm not gonna be honest. This is the first time in my life where Roman Reigns is gonna be on a TV screen, and I'm gonna have zero interest in watching it.
I think we've lost our way a little bit. I was watching SmackDown and saw the end of the opener, which I think they did a great job for the opening match. It was a great match. I love the steel cage match. Actually, it was good.
Oh, it's fantastic, dude. I was a big, you know me, I'm a big Solo guy, big time Solo guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to give Cody a little bit of respect. He beat him, and I'm surprised that the Bloodline didn't show up until after the match. Like, there was no reason for them to not show up during the match and help their tribal chief win.
I agree.
Solo lost his leadership ability there. I think it shows. Like they didn't go out there for their leader. I think I was big fan because Solo was really in command for a long time on SmackDown since after Mania, and I saw it all melt away in that cage match.
But maybe Solo is playing more fairly because he wants to bring the title back, and he wants to do so with some grace that he hasn't shown before. I really don't know. But
That's
when
not
at
how
the
the
end,
bloodline moves. That's not how you lead the bloodline. That's not how they move. I don't like that. To me again. It's just like you said earlier. We lost the plot here, dude. I don't think that like Solo. I had so much faith in him being a strong leader for the bloodline, and again, I just saw it dwindle away in that cage match right there. Like everything kind of just fell away from me, fell apart. Um, it's just you do everything that it takes to bring prestige to that bloodline, and you've lost yet again to Cody Rhodes. And it's like, dude, you only get so many chances. And I think him demanding a tag match right after it was like a tantrum. You're just like out here throwing a tantrum now because you're really losing control and you're spiraling now. And I don't like it. It's not a good look for him. Losing a lot of respect every second for Solo at the moment. Not a fan
I
of that, the way that went down.
I understand where you're at on it, and I can respect it. What I don't respect is I don't respect how the anger that Roman Reigns is supposed to have for both Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline that he's purportedly supposed to have is now causing him to be kind of all right with tagging with Cody Rhodes. Like,
Well,
shouldn't
dude, it's what's
Roman
weird about it
Reigns
too.
want the
What's weird
title right now?
Yeah.
Like,
What's weird about it to me though, it's weird to me that like Roman he's completely taken his focus off on the title. So much so to the point where he's teaming up with him, but like he said it himself, like in the main event, when they were talking about, I mean, hardly an event, but at the end of the show to close the show, he says he takes the contract from Nick Aldis and throws it and says, "This is family business. I don't need a contract, and I damn sure don't need Cody Rhodes." And then you sign the contract and then you hand it to Cody Rhodes.
5 minutes later.
Make it make sense. Like you come out and you say, nothing's changed. I don't change. And I'm the face of yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You clearly have changed. What happened to wreck everyone and leave? You were inside of a steel cage with Cody Rhodes and you didn't lay a finger on him. What happened to you? Wreck everyone and leave. What happened to the Roman Reigns we loved? And I get like fans are going crazy for this. They love it because it's two big stars teaming up, but it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's honestly it's ruining all the validity of the previous bloodline story where Roman was tribal chief and he was wreck everyone and leave guy and he was the family above all else guy. Like,
you know what?
it's ruining all of it for me. Throw it all in the garbage. It literally meant nothing then. We're throwing it all away for this cheap pop to have fans hyped because you guys are tag teaming. And then even Cody. Bro, I had, for the first time in a long time, I gained a smidgen of respect for Cody. He beats Solo in the cage match, right? And then he goes to Nick Aldis' office. He gets told about the tag team match that Solo wants. And he tells them, I'm done with the bloodline. He took care of business. I'm done with him. That's their business. That's their family feud. And walked away just to come out and sign the contract. Like, do you guys, when you talk, do you guys mean anything? I don't understand. Should we even listen? What's the point of us listening to you guys speak if it doesn't fucking mean anything?
You know what kills me about this happening right now is this is the second time Roman's done this. This is not the first time. This is the second time that like the amount I love Roman Reigns so much. I want him to be on top. I've wanted him to be on top since he was before the Triple H era, as you'd call it, or whoever would call it. I wanted him to be on top, and he got there, and it's amazing. And then what's happening now is this is the second time he has decided I have a personal emotional problem, and that is gonna get the best of me, and I'm going to compromise my decision.
More important than the title. How are your personal problems more important than the most prestigious title in the world?
Title. So at WrestleMania, just so the audience,
absolutely, yeah. I'm following you.
I'm referencing that horrible moment that he decided to nail Rollins instead of finish Rhodes, take the title home, and bask in glory. Instead, he decided, oh, let me go after someone that backstabbed me 10 years ago, who has now moved on and has since won titles just like me. Like, look, I get it. He was there to mess you up, but you need to focus.
And that
And
goes back
now,
to Solo. When Solo called him a weak tribal chief at Mania, I
yeah,
agreed with Solo. The only thing I said was he was wrong for saying it on a mic on the front stage. Like, dude, say that back and that's family stuff. Romans earn enough respect for you to not say that out loud, but you were not wrong. Like, you told no lies. That was a weak tribal chief that made that decision, and that's why Solo had to step up and become the tribal chief. And he did a fantastic job up until this moment. And I just think that all of it's crumbling apart. We're watching the fall and the decline of the bloodline in real time. And I just don't like that it's that Roman is really I can't stand him teaming with Cody Rhodes, and it doesn't sit well with me, dude. It
we
doesn't,
know
especially after saying that he didn't need to do it. It's like it don't sit well with me at all.
and it's good. You should have your stomach turned upside down because we know that Solo has become his Rollins now, and this is the
Yeah, and it
problem that
doesn't
he
make
has.
sense because he elevated your family. He did exactly what you should want someone to do in your absence is keep your family in a prestigious place. Keep the glory in the family. And then you go to SummerSlam and take food off their plate. Like he spears Solo and gives Cody and lets Cody maintain the title. Solo had the title won. The family was going to eat again. But Roman thought that it was more important to settle that because he felt his feelings were hurt because of what Solo said.
So
Like,
let's put
I
that.
just be
So
more
let's put that
emotional. What are
into.
you doing?
So let's put that into perspective, right? So you have Roman Reigns. What do you need to do next? You need to decide: are you going to try to get your title back and become the tribal chief because you became that due to the fact that you had the title, that you rose to the top? Or are you going to be battling for your personal feuds? So I don't know. I
Yeah,
hope.
I listen. I was telling a friend of mine today. I was like, hey, you know what I would love to hear? I would love to hear a surprise retirement from Roman Reigns. Go focus on your health and your family, and let's just dead this whole thing and move on from the bloodline and forget it ever happened. And maybe like send the Tongans back to New Japan and just keep Fatu because Fatu's amazing. And that's what I would love to see. To be quite honest with you, the rest of this I have absolutely no interest in.
I would love to know, what do you all who are listening think about Roman Reigns' decision making, the future of the bloodline, whether or not we're going to see Solo rise to the top again and win the title back, or is Roman going to actually finally care about this title? And by the way, where does that put Cody in all this? Like, this is the problem with the Cody Rhodes era, is we have a champion who does not give us the best of everyone around him. And
Right,
that's the problem. So what do you
right.
all want to see happen in this storyline? What do you want to see Roman or Cody or Solo do? I personally want to see Roman focus on the title again, win it, and become the tribal chief again, and tell
He has no tribe.
Solo
Can't do it. He has no tribe.
you now acknowledge me. And Solo will then do it because he said he
He
would,
said it, he
and
said
he'll
he
be a
would.
man of his word, and that's it. What do you think
Absolutely.
he'll do? Riff, before we move on, what do you think he'll do?
I think number one, you said something. I don't think Solo's gonna win that title ever. I don't think he deserves it anymore. I think he's lost his respect. I think he's lost his credibility. And I think Roman eventually should go back to winning the title, but I don't want to ever call him tribal chief anymore unless I see him with a tribe. He's not tribal chief. That OTC gimmick is just that. It's a gimmick. There is no tribe. Unless you're calling the WWE universe, the fans, your tribe. Fuck that. I don't want to fucking be a part of that tribe anyway. That's fucking loser ass tribe. Bunch of losers that made us lose the title in the first place at Mania, that had us going up against, like, we literally would have had Roman versus Rock if it wasn't for all those crybabies, and now you're adding them into your tribe. Fuck you. Fuck Roman. Fuck Cody. Fuck Solo. Throw them all away. Get rid of it. Bring LA Knight up to the top. Let him be the WWE Undisputed Champion or something, or Mello
You
or
know,
fucking
you know,
Andrade.
for
I don't give a shit who. Someone else.
you know,
The
for
problem I have though, the problem that I really have with all of it is SmackDown is just bad now, dude. The undisputed title needs to move to Raw. They need to get a unified title, like Gunther be the unified, universal, undisputed WWE champ, the greatest champion there ever was. Because SmackDown has no one that can do it for us anymore, dude. Raw is light years ahead of it.
You think that Raw is getting packed and loaded because we're going to Netflix, or do you think that Raw is just a good show now because it's got a little edgier? Like, why do you think this is happening?
I think Raw is better right now because the people that are wrestling on Raw understand that the most important thing is the title, and the most important thing is the main events. The most important thing is the wrestling and the match, is the beating the shit out of people and asserting your dominance. Not this other little political bullshit we're seeing on SmackDown. It's none of that. We're seeing real, raw, ruthless aggression. That's a little Easter egg for you folks listening at home. We're seeing that on Raw, and we're seeing some rated G bullshit on SmackDown. I just honestly, dude, I miss when SmackDown was great, dude. There was a time like when we had, Theodore Long as our GM and William Regal as our GM, and we had Stone Cold beefing with Undertaker and Triple H, and Kurt Angle beefing with Brock Lesnar, and Booker T beefing with Stone Cold, and we had all these incredible moments where you had Stone Cold fighting Booker T in the grocery store. This is like early 2000s, like this
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
03,
remember that.
01, 02. Like,
Yeah.
dude, moments in history that we had. We Brothers of Destruction. You had the Hardy Boys. You had the APA. SmackDown was the show. I loved SmackDown more than anything. Friday nights was my pride and joy, dude.
You know, and
And
I've
it's
always
just not
loved.
the same anymore, dude.
I was there on. I remember the first ep of SmackDown. It was an amazing ep, but I remember feeling sorry and feeling sad that I was giving attention to anything but the flagship show, Raw. And I remember telling myself and my brothers at the time, I was like, this is never gonna become as good as Raw, about SmackDown, because it just couldn't be. It couldn't be. And there was a time when I swear you're right. It was better, and it was a lot better. It was.
Yeah.
It was. I would argue it was. I don't know if it turned into the flagship show, but it certainly felt like that was a show where you'd see Batista, you'd see, like you said, big players who were doing a lot of good stories. And Raw has this storied history that I love. My favorite era of Raw ever was in the early 2000s, late 90s, and there was a little bit of a resurgence with Monday Night Raw towards the late 2000, mid, that 2010, 2009, 2011, 12, 13. Remember The Rock's return? He lit up
Mhm.
Raw a lot. That was when Raw was really coming back into its I feel like coming a little bit back into its way. And then now Raw is doing, again, back on top.
Yeah, I think Raw is at one
No
of its
dip.
peaks right here. It's
Yep.
at a peak right now. It's
And it's
incredible.
over its phase of, like, oh, we're just a longer show that, and we don't do. And now they're moving to 2 hours for the rest of the year. So
Yep.
we'll see if that's going to work out. Do you think they're going to be 2 hours on Netflix, or are they going to go back to three
I'm not
like they
sure. I'm
were?
not sure how like commercial breaks or anything is gonna work on Netflix. If there's gonna be any ads or how that's all gonna work. But I would assume if there's no interrupted ads or anything, then yeah, we'll definitely only have 2 hours. I highly doubt we'll do 3 hours. That'll be way too much stuff going on. It'll drag things out, and you'll have to fill it with way too much going on. But I'm interested to see how it goes with Netflix with the Netflix transition. And for those of you listening at home, man, as always, you guys leave your comments. Let us know. Do you like SmackDown now more or than Raw? Or is Raw clearly the better show? How do you guys feel? Tell us about some of your favorite eras of SmackDown and Raw. And with that, we will conclude our first official episode of the World Wrestling Podcast. Tameem, how are you feeling about this episode, man?
I really thank you for bringing the noise today. I know in the beginning you were bringing the noise and I wasn't. And you know what? I was so focused on how we're going to cover what we had to cover today. I feel unbelievable. I feel great. This was a great chat with you. The World Wrestling Podcast is going to, I hope, take off and become something that we can come back to, and it will be our anchor for a long time to come. I hope that you all enjoy listening to it, and we'll take any feedback. I love feedback. I really want to hear what you all think, because we are structuring this show to try to touch a little bit of everything, but we can't cover everything, right? So let us know something we missed. We'll talk about it. Something you wanted to talk about.
I don't care what they think. The Rock doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, well,
If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, follow, comment, subscribe, whatever it is. The podcast is gonna be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You guys know what to do, and we will see you next week. The Rock doesn't give a fuck.
thank you all. See you soon.